Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Neal, Ruhl, Lindsey, Hunter, Sean, Belige, and we have a round table if you had it here today, Sean.
Yeah, at the beautiful DGC. This place is outstanding. It's, I think so many of us, Neal, in the business were out here not that long ago. Another outstanding Rocket Mortgage Classic. You know it's a big event when Lindsey Hunter, who's been there, done that, played with some of the best, friends with some of the best. He's even looking at the roster going, ooh, look who's here.
Absolutely.
Literally
man.
just a couple minutes ago, Lindsey's going through going, ooh, he's here and he's here. What's up, Lindsey?
Man, I saw some of my favorite basketball players of all time. Spud Webb's here.
Spud Webb, the
hey,
guy,
man.
huh? Yeah.
Who cannot be a fan of Spud Webb?
No, but we are live here, as Sean said, at the Detroit Golf Club. It's a Feldman Automotive Children's Miracle Network golf outing. Also, the Mark Wahlberg Youth Foundation involved as well, and we're happy to be out here. We got BMG, Big Mike Gentry, Spencer Raxter as well. We are locked, we are loaded, and the preseason's done. We're ready to go. Week 0. I got the people right on Friday, by the way, San Jose State. And look, I'm taking a victory lap, Spenmo. I'm taking a victory lap.
You deserve
and
it.
Sean, I'm curious to get your feedback on this. When you handicap a game, and you handicap it perfectly, when you say, yes, I believe San Jose State will get well into the 20s. Yes, I believe they can run the, by the way, check 28 points. Yes, they can run the football on USC. There's a little soft underbelly to USC. 200 yards rushing by San Jose State. Good teams win, but great teams cover. And I got the people right again, Sean.
You know what? Let's say this. I think there's a lot of soft underbelly with USC.
Yes.
I really do.
There always is. There always has been. There always will be.
That hasn't changed from last season. I'm going to tell you point blank, Neal. They are the early clubhouse leader for the highly ranked team that's going to end up falling well short this year as far as I'm concerned, based on what I saw out of that defense. I mean, we all know that defense is optional in the pack to begin with, but that defense is really soft. But, man, Caleb.
Oh, yeah, he zipped it.
Dude.
Lindsey, he's going to zip it. We know that.
Hey, he's the Heisman Trophy winner, right? So we know he's a special guy.
Yeah, no question.
But when you got a guy like that, you know a team with no defense, with a guy that can zing it, they're going to score. They're going to score points there. He's going to put points on the board. You just can't stop anybody. And that's, for me, I'm a defensive guy.
Right.
I always want to be able to stop people.
Right. And look, again, Sean, I think with USC, you're going to look at, and we're going to get into all of it, by the way. I know that there's Lions training camp news. We'll discuss some possible trade discussions out there as well. But that was kind of my takeaway from week 0, Sean. I mean, when you look at it, too, with USC, we've seen this act before, and last year I got the people right with Utah over USC in the Pac-12 championship game. And you know this, Sean. They're not going to win a national title, but you don't want Utah problems.
No.
You don't want what they bring to the party.
And I'll tell you what. I like week 0. I know a lot of people bash
I do
it.
too.
I like week 0. And you know, then I kind of get snobby on people, Lindsey, when I hear people going, oh, week 06. I'm like, what you don't like college football? But college football's on. What do you know? But let me say this. Florida, Utah, Thursday night. How great would that have been if they put that? That's our week 0 kickoff classic. We're going to have fun. That's going to be a great game.
Yes.
Utah and Florida Thursday night is a fantastic game. I wish they would go back to that because, Neal, when you were a little lad frolicking around.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Lindsey and I were there during the kickoff classic era.
Yes.
There would always have that one big game, whether it be in New Jersey, whatever the case, where that one big game.
Syracuse, Florida State in the Meadowlands.
I wish that they would go back to that in week 0. Just one. I'm not saying, number 1 versus number 3, but a game like that, Florida, Utah, that's can't miss television on Thursday.
Right.
Why not put that on that Saturday, week 0?
Well, I think a lot of that is attributed to people don't want to lose early because of this college playoff now.
Yeah.
So teams are reluctant to play a high quality, a high caliber opponent week one. They're just afraid to do it now because everything is predicated off your record going down the stretch for the college playoff. And if you've lost a game, and depending on who you lost to, you may be out automatically early.
Yep.
And teams don't want that to happen.
Right, which, going back to it, and we've seen teams adjust accordingly. Michigan, in terms of what you do with your schedule. Michigan. And guys, let me put the sword down for everybody. I agree with them. I would do it too. You know why? There's no penalty for doing it. There's only rewards. Ohio State got in last year, and they lost. That's it. That's all. Just apply some comments on why do it. If you don't have to, why?
Right. No, it makes sense.
It's going to be interesting this year because if things play out the way they do, I'm of the opinion, I think a lot of people around here are kind of going slappadocious. I really do, and I can't blame them, okay? I mean, what Michigan's done the last couple of years, tip of the cap. But let me say this. I think the people that are just assuming that the playoff is going to be 2 SEC teams and 2 big teams again, I think they're going to be sadly mistaken this year. I really do. I think there's a really good chance that one of those Pac teams, not named USC, can play themselves in. What about a Washington? What about a Utah? One of those teams are going to be in a position to do it. I think one of the ACC teams are. Can you imagine, just for the sake of pretend, can you imagine Florida State knocks off LSU that first game of the year? LSU missing some key components. What kind of hype train, based on what Lindsey was saying, is going to start about FSU? The hype train's already kind of chumming around.
Right?
They're putting coal in the engine right now.
Can
No
you
doubt.
imagine they knock off LSU? Well, then all of a sudden, okay, well, we got to find a way to beat Clemson. Got to find a way to beat ND. So I'm not so sure it's going to be the 2-2 that a lot of people think it is.
Right.
I think being in the key and operative word, that the ACC and maybe the Pac's going to have something to say about that.
Yeah. Well, Lindsey, I go back to it. I see those ratings for Michigan, Ohio State every year.
Yes.
They want them both in there.
Oh,
and we saw last year.
Absolutely.
It is not about a champion. None of that. It's about a compelling television show. But, hey, we'll have a long time to talk about that. We'll get into that. Gary Brasseur, get involved in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Gary Brasseur, welcome to the Woodward crew. Happy to have you with us. Bradley K. Neal, I was 0-2 on Saturday before the San Jose State game. Thank you for getting me right. And, Sean, that's the basis of the get-right pick. It's always Mountain West-y, Pac-12-y, 11 o'clock, because old Uncle Neal, you can be 0-6. Circle those wagons. Old Uncle Neal's going to get you right late Saturday night. Every time.
I got to bring up something while you were doing your job, okay? Which he does oh so well.
Yes, he does.
Did you see who walked by and was showing some love?
The great Ron Artest.
Ron Artest in the house.
And
all right.
Ron Artest stopped about 10 feet away, pointed at Lindsey and goes, the best defender, and pointed at Lindsey.
A lot of people say Ron Artest one of the best defenders
he
to ever
is,
do
man,
it.
by far.
defender.
I don't like that those Laker ensemble he has there, but we'll let him pass because he's Ron.
Well, do you still have the Laker championship ring?
I mean, that's different.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah, but look what he has, a whole bag, an ensemble.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Here in
look at
Detroit.
that.
He did that on purpose.
You just did the Smokey from Friday. Oh, that's different.
Ron did that on purpose. You know he did that on purpose, right?
Yeah, no doubt, man. He's playing the part. There is no question about it. But no, that is the level. That is the level of celebrity that is out here. No question about it. We got some requests in. We'll see what happens. I know that Sean. Because I've used this show as therapy a lot. As a Lions fan, and we're in the hype train, and it's left the station, and there's no brakes. The brake line's broken.
No.
It's going around the corner on 2 wheels, all of it. And I've used this as a lot of therapy, this Lions hype train, where I've been able to sit down and say, I'm scared. Like, I'm nervous. I'm scared. And people have talked me through it. Lindsey is one. He's shown me a lot of tough love. But I think it's apropos Sterling Sharp is here because I do need to talk to him because I need closure, Lindsey. I'm going to ask him about that. Say, why did you do that to us? Why were you so wide open in 1994 in the playoff game when we had it won? We had it won. Until we didn't. You remember that game, Sean.
How can you forget it? I mean, that just you look at the replay, okay? For a guy to get that open any time of the game is unbelievable. At that point in time of the game, and to help build a huge chapter of the legend of Favre, I mean, that was just so many moments. I know Lindsey and I were talking about this a few weeks back. Neal, after 91, I remember the only time I can compare the hype that we're getting right now is really 92. And a lot of the guys that played on that team would agree with me. I talked to one, Mark Spindler. Of course, his son Rocco was playing for ND the other day. It was great to see that in Ireland. And that first game of the year in 92, they're leading the Bears the whole game. Some guy named Jim Harbaugh throws a touchdown to Tom Waddle literally on the last pass of the game, play of the game. And you know what? In that moment, in one moment, you went from going, yay, to it's happening again. And then it happened. And I'm not going to, I'm telling you, I'm not going to allow my brain to do it this year. I'm not. I am not going to get that mentally low where if they lose to the Chiefs, and I mean that, if they lose to the Chiefs, I'm not going to go, here we go again or anything like that. That's the old mentality. I'm not going to go down that road. But with that being said, I don't want any gosh damn moral victories either.
Thank
Golly
you.
gee, they played so well
Lindsey?
in Arrowhead.
See, Lindsey?
Hooray!
But I'm not putting everything into the Chiefs game.
That's smart. That's smart.
Do we want them to win? Absolutely. Absolutely. We want them to win every game. But just because, you got to think about it. The Chiefs, they're tough. They're tough at home, man. They're tough.
No doubt.
It's going to be
They're
tough.
the best in the game.
Now, I will give the Lions this. They have a great opportunity to win that game because I think they'll have championship hangover. There'll be celebrations. I don't know how football does it.
They're set to get got.
Exactly. Do they have the ring ceremony right away? Do they do all that, the theatrical things before the game? So that, I think, gives the Lions an advantage. You come in with all this foolishness going on.
Take advantage.
We want
if
them
you're
to
a
take
good team, you take advantage
They
in these
are
spots.
a good team, but I will not go back on my word saying they're not a good team if they don't beat the Chiefs. And you said you were going to elaborate on this from last week. We said to you, the first 5 games, if they go 4-1, or if they beat the Chiefs and go 1-3 or 1-4, how would you feel? And you were like, let me think about that.
Yeah.
Because you said you're putting a lot of stock in this Chiefs game.
I am. We didn't say it's okay to go 1-4 as long as it wins the Chiefs.
We didn't say it was okay, but you had some apprehension in your
Sean,
stance.
All right, you're here. You're here, Sean. We need you to moderate for a minute here.
Oh, this ought to be good.
Yes, it's going to be very good because I value your opinion. You're a friend. I would take 3-2 over 4-1. If that one's a loss to the Chiefs, I would take 3-2 with the win over the Chiefs. I would take 1-1 as long as the win's with the Chiefs, not over Seattle. I know the playoff implications. I understand that. But, Sean, here's the why. Joe Football Fan in Butte, Montana, if the Lions win Thursday, because he's going to be watching. The world's going to be watching. If they win, they'll say, holy shit, this is true. This stuff about the Lions is true. He won't check back in next week against Seattle or any other time the rest of the way until the playoffs.
You know what? Let me say this, though. I think Joe Football Fan, who hasn't had to live with getting our kidneys pulverized 100 times in our life, I think Joe Football Fan might be the guy, unlike us, that goes, wow, the Lions fought to the end. The Chiefs won on a last-second field goal, but this is a good football team. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Whereas
absolutely.
guys like us, I'm going to sit back and go, I take nothing from that.
Right,
To quote one of the greatest poets of our time, to be the man, you got to beat the man. Like, honestly,
yes.
and I'll go Ric Flair with that. I you know what? I'm not going to be content with them just golly gee playing well against the Chiefs. You know what? If they are as good as we think they are, okay, go beat the Chiefs. Go beat the Chiefs.
I honestly, I can agree with you guys, but yet and still, we want them to beat the Chiefs. But I have yet to hear anybody say clearly, hey, these are Super Bowl contenders. You guys are afraid to say that, but you want them to go beat the Chiefs. You can't have it both ways.
No, Lindsey. My thing with it is this: if you do that, then you show that you are.
Okay.
If
fair.
you do that, then you show that you are.
That's fair.
I don't want to hear the chat. Like seriously, I don't. The chirping, all that. I don't want to hear that this year. I want them to go out, to your point, and just do. Not talk about what you're going to do.
Absolutely.
Just
absolutely
do. And you know what? To your point, if they go 4-1 in their first 5, I don't care who they lose to.
That's
if
my
the Detroit
point.
Lions are 4-1 at
That's
some point in time
point.
and make me sit back and say, you know what? Everything that I thought this team would be, they're kind of showing up to be. We're a third of the way in, almost a third of the way in, and look what they're doing. I'm happy as a pig in crap over that.
Okay, we're to the same place, Sean. We just took a different route.
Yeah,
you
sure,
went up
I get
US
it.
23. I still met you at Houghton.
It is beautiful, though. That around the Lake Huron shore.
Oh, here we go, everybody. You know what else is beautiful? Strawberry Fest at Big Boy. That is beautiful as well. Try the classic breakfast items like the strawberry hotcakes or the mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Not a breakfast person? That's okay. Get the strawberry bacon chicken wrap. Salad, you lean that way, the refreshing summer splash salad as well. Don't forget dessert. That's the point of all this. The OG, the strawberry pie at Big Boy. You know what it is. It started this whole thing. Deep fried vanilla Oreos or a strawberry hot fudge cake. All that is out there. Get to your local Big Boy today for Strawberry Fest.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. So register today at OutdoorEquipCo.com, and even you could have DMAC on your landscaping crew.
Winners, losers, pushes and draws, over-unders, prop bets, futures and spreads. Are you sick and tired of your picks being losers? Do you want to learn how to bet like a champion? Well, Woodward Sports searched the globe for the most dangerous man with a bet slip in his hand and gave him a show. Coming soon to Woodward Sports. Tune in every weekend as we introduce the greatest gambler to ever walk the earth.
Hi, I'm Booner, and I don't lose.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Neal Ruhl here for Cintron. How would you like to win a $100K Vegas getaway? Take your closest friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's a Cintron Energy. Drink it and live it. Purchase a 24-pack today, and you can enter to win the $100K Vegas getaway at drinkcintron.com/Vegas and buy Cintron at your local Meijer store. Cintron, the healthier energy drink with great taste and the choice of people who desire to look good, feel good, and be the best version of themselves. It's Las Vegas, everybody. Go to drinkcintron.com/Vegas. We are back at it here live at Detroit Golf Club at the Feldman Automotive Children's Miracle Celebrity Invitational benefiting Beaumont Children's and the Mark Wahlberg Youth Foundation. Neal Ruhl, Sean Belizean, Lindsey Hunter has relocated. He's still with us, though. Don't worry, Lindsey.
He's a smart one.
Yeah, he's a smart one. Yeah,
Get out of the sun, man. Anytime you want to switch spots, let me know, Lindsey.
Yeah. we got probably, Sean, we'll be all right in about 20 minutes. I think
so.
I think we'll be all right in about 20 minutes.
I think so.
We got all of you in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread as well. Going back to Lindsey's discussion with Ron Artest, who stopped by to prop Lindsey up. Machiavelli to go sucks. LA sucks. So there's the fans are still on it, Lindsey. The fans are still on it, man. Did you feel dirty playing for the Lakers?
You know, when I came back to Detroit, I was happy about beating them, of course.
Okay.
I didn't feel
All right.
dirty,
Hey,
though.
that's a seasoned
Coming
professional.
up on 20 years, man.
Had I not won a ring, I would feel some type of way.
Okay.
But I want a ring, so.
It changes everything.
It changes everything.
No, I get it. But yeah, jump into that woodwardsports.com chat thread, get your thoughts out there. And I do want to touch on this because it's gathering some steam. And it's fun to talk about, too. Let's just be real about it. Detroit Lions making calls, Mike Evans, Cooper Kupp. Sean? Is it a fit? 248.
Well, yeah, I've heard that before somewhere. So number one, I want a general manager that is making calls. I want a general manager. I've said it 1,000 times. I go back a decade ago. Do you remember when, I don't even know how it came up, but there was some talk that maybe the Tigers should move Miguel Cabrera. And people lost their mind.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? Are you out of your mind and all that? And I'm not going to besmirch the great name of Miggy, but I'm going to say this. I want a general manager who's willing to make those calls. That doesn't mean he's going to trade him.
Right.
It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean you're going to trade Chauncey Billups. What can I do to improve my team and improve my team long term? Not just the short version, but long term. So, number one, I'm going to start there. I want a general manager that isn't afraid to make those calls. Number two, I think Mike Evans would be a great fit with this team. A great fit. And we were talking about this during the break, so I want to give Lucas some credit on this. In terms of fit, I think that you have Mike Evans is a better fit here. Make no mistake about it. Kupp, better receiver? Yeah, you could say that right now. But Mike Evans, what he brings to the table and how he could fit in with the pieces that are already here, I think that he would be a fantastic fit here.
Lindsey, what about that, man? Like you played, you got traded, you had a great tenure with the Boston Celtics. We talked about it last time we were at Oakland Hills. I asked you what was your most memorable part of being a Boston Celtic for the 16 minutes that you were a Boston Celtic. But you understand this though, right? Like
Definitely.
it's the way it works.
Yeah, of course. You always want to improve your team, and whatever you can do to do that, a GM, that's their job. And you want a guy that's constantly active, even if they don't make any moves, that they're inquiring about making moves, that they're trying to, like Sean said, better your team for the long haul, not just right away. In this case, needing a receiver is a necessity for the Lions. They need another receiver, So hearing if it's in fact true that they're looking at, Kupp and Mike Williams, it makes sense. I would do the same.
You know what's funny, Neal? Lindsey and I talk about this all the time, and I think you could correct me if you're wrong. I think you were in school at the time, but do you remember the Rasheed Wallace? When the Pistons brought in Rasheed Wallace,
right?
Y'all can lie out there if you want. A vast majority of you hated it. Rasheed Wallace was a troublemaker. Rasheed Wallace is going to upset the apple cart. No. Joe built this wonderful crew, and Rasheed Wallace he doesn't fit in what we're trying to do. And you look back at that. You want to talk about a guy hand in glove, not only in the room with you guys, Lindsey, but really as a Detroiter. And so I think sometimes, just one man's opinion, I think sometimes people want our guys. Well, this is our guy. He's been here the last couple years, and he's been through this steady climb and everything. You know what I want? I want a guy that makes our guys better. And Mike Evans is that guy as Rasheed Wallace was. The Pistons were a darn good team, a team that probably had a good chance of making a run to the finals. The Pistons became a championship team when they brought Rasheed Wallace on board.
No, absolutely. And look, we're talking a lot, bringing in those parallels, Pistons, Lakers. Ron Artest was here earlier. Safe to say he's a rival. And Woodward sports resident Sparty, Spencer Raxter, he's got a rival too, as Walmart Wolverine, Flannel Sam, and Spenny go head-to-head on Woodward Sports' latest show, Woodward Rivals. You don't want to miss Sam Flannel breaking down why this will be the year for University of Michigan. Or heavyweight Spencer Raxter body slam every Sano Flam stat that comes his way and defends Sparty's honor. Tune in on Woodward Sports' YouTube channel for the premiere on Friday, September 1st from 10 to 11 p.m. weekly. Don't miss the most anticipated Michigan State show Detroit has to offer with Woodward Rivals. Going to the woodwardsports.com chat thread, CJ Schneider says, what clown is reporting that? If you look around, CJ, there's been talks about it. And look, as far as like what my opinion goes on this, you know where I'm going to run to. I'm running to the books. I'm running to the books. I'm running to the salary sheet and seeing how things are. If you're giving me a choice between cost of acquisition / cost of having / the most questions, I'm going to lean towards Mike Evans just because it's a one and done. Final year of the deal. Cooper Kupp sitting there on a 3-year, $80 million contract. He's coming off a pretty bad injury. We think we know. The Rams think they know. We don't know. Nobody knows for sure. If you're giving me a choice, that's how I'm going to lean. And make no mistake, and Sean, I love these, Lindsey, I love these discussions because what does it do? It circles back to my point that you guys hear 1 to 2 times a week. The reason this Lions team is considered good and on the come up right now is you have a GM that is financially flexible and ready for anything and has rookies on rookie contracts that are good. There are no bloated Trey Flowers, Jamie Collins, pay him $22 million to go away deals. There's none of those out there right now, Sean. So that's why keeping it consistent for me, I'm Team Mike Evans on that deal.
No, and this was a long-term play by Brad Holmes. I mean, I'm going to say it again. You saw this coming 2 years ago, right? You know, when you told people, I remember I told people on this very show, guys, stop with the chat about the playoffs in 21 and even 22. And Lord knows they did better than I think a lot of people thought. This was, Lindsey, a long-term build. This was Brad Holmes looking past 2021, looking past 2022, and looking at 2023. And so now the Lions find themselves in the position that they are. Look, they're a favorite in the North for a reason. And it's not just because the North stinks. This team has more depth than any time I can remember. And that's saying a lot. And you know what? That is what Brad Holmes has done. Put them in the spot where they can do that and say, maybe we can tweak here and add this and tweak here and add that and take that proverbial next level.
Right, and what you guys just said, he has made moves to allow them to be flexible. So now they can go out and inquire about a guy like Cooper Kupp or Mike Evans and not have a problem paying a guy or making some moves to, make it work. If you can get Mike Evans here on a decent salary without killing your salary cap, you do it. That move may put them over the hump, and then you guys will not be afraid to say Super Bowl.
That's all. Lindsey's going to do that every chance he gets, man. He's just going to go in there and twist it every single time. I would suspect, though, because as I look at Mike Evans and where he sits on the books, he is at a point right now where you look at the cap hit for this year, and he's already restructured, so you don't have that card to play anymore. Yeah. Any Mike Evans trade, I think, is going to come week 5, week 6. And Lindsey and I talked about this last week, Sean. I'll bring you into the discussion as well. We saw it. We got a taste last year. You're going to see the trade deadline of the NFL become more and more and more of a thing.
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, the NFL went out of their way to become around-the-clock news cycle, right? And what more to excite people than the trade deadline? That's one thing I think the NBA had it right for so many years. Yep. The NHL did until they screwed it up. Typical NHL. Baseball, that's something that baseball, we look down to, and for years, although it hasn't mattered as much to the Tigers, heck, remember 12, 13, 14, all the names that were bantied about to come here and play for the Tigers and be that final piece that maybe took the Tigers to a title. I think the NFL is very, very interested in completely owning that news cycle in the 48 hours leading up to the trade deadline.
And it's going to be, as you continue to really juice team salary tables and see where it is. So why would you bring in Mike Evans now at whatever we just said that number was, at that $24 million number, when it can be halfway done,
Absolutely.
Down to 12. And
Absolutely.
I think that's why you're seeing Brad Holmes sit on that cash. Everyone has that consumer mindset. Like, we have this cap space. Why aren't we using it? Easy, everybody.
The only thing that we have to worry about is I'm guessing there are 4 or 5 other general managers right now that are doing the exact same thing.
100%.
So this goes back to what we were talking about earlier. If I'm Mike Evans, and maybe you're in a position where you could go, oh my gosh, this is almost like de facto free agency. I would like a 4-1 Detroit Lion team over maybe a 3-2 Detroit Lion team. I'm seriously.
Don't kill my dreams.
No,
Sean.
I'm not trying to be.
No, you're killing my dreams.
Sorry.
You're killing my dreams. Hey, we're out here live at Detroit Golf Club, the Feldman Automotive Children's Miracle Network golf outing, benefiting Beaumont and the Mark Wahlberg Youth Foundation. So it's apropos here with Swiss Insurance. Are you planning or sponsoring a golf outing this year? Ask Swiss Insurance about hole-in-one putting contest and $1 million shootout coverage. For a very affordable amount, you could give away a huge prize like $10,000 cash or a new car. Help build your business with big ideas. Check out Swiss today, SwissINS.com. Again, or as I say in Canada, again, SwissINS.com, or call Mark at 248-800-4177.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Neal Ruhl here for Guardian Alarm. Customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technician take the time to recommend security and automotive solution or automation solutions specific to your needs. 24/7 professional monitoring. Call them anytime, day or night. Know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as is needed. Technology backed by people. Real life people. That's wild, I know. Your safety and security deserve technology that's been proven to work and people that have been proven to care. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT. Again, 1-800-STAY-OUT. It's Guardian Alarm. Keeping it pushing here. We are live at Detroit Golf Club, Feldman Automotive Children's Miracle Celebrity Invitational, benefiting Beaumont Children's and the Mark Wahlberg Youth Foundation. Neal Ruhl, Sean Belizean, Lindsey Hunter, BMG, Big Mike Gentry, Spencer Raxter as well. And we got to touch on this. We'll do some roster stuff. I understand there was some Lions news to come out of camp. We'll get to that in the next segment. But look, the preseason's over. I had checked out already. Lindsey, I'm sorry. I'm just being honest, man. Everybody else checked out. Why don't I get to check out? And with that being said, I did listen to it on the radio a little bit while I mowed the lawn. I'm going to be honest. Lindsey, did you have any takeaways?
No, man.
Great talk, Lindsey. Thank you.
I checked out also. I checked. The only thing that I was a little inquisitive about was the trade the 49ers made.
That's it?
Yep.
That's it. What about you, Sean?
I watched. I feel the exact same way as you. I mean, listen, I've said for years the people that put stuff into this, I think you're out your mind. If you enjoy it, enjoy it. You know, screw somebody like me, but somebody that puts something into this, you're just not getting anything out of it. Sorry. I'll say again, the good news is the Lions have more depth than any time I can remember. But watching this team's 2s and 3s consistently and more like 3s and 4s, what could you possibly take out of it? No, it was nice to watch, and it was interesting. I don't know if you guys watch any on television. That was kind of a pro-Panther broadcast, and I'm usually not one to play that game.
Really? That's off brand for you.
Quit your bitching. You know, I'm kind of that guy, but it was a little pro-Panther on Friday. It was funny because I was like, to your point, Neal, I'm usually a guy who yells at people like, stop it, knock it off, okay? But what I did is I started creeping on Twitter, just going, okay, is anybody else hearing this? And people were going crazy. Are these the Panther broadcasters? It was a little pro-Panthers. It was. But I get it. You got a Heisman Trophy winner, number 1 pick in the draft, all that. There's all the
it was
hubbub
sexy.
about that.
Like that's the storyline. The Lions aren't playing anybody. I mean, what did you think was going to happen, man?
That's a great point. Hey, boy, these second and third stringers for the Lions, they're going to talk about the big story. It's the National Football League, but I take nothing out of these games. I've felt that way for years. This is the opportunity. Lindsey's probably sick and tired of hearing it to say these people that put something into this. Are you new? Are you new to the NFL? The Browns, the Lions, 0-16 teams, both went 4-0 in the exhibition season, man. I don't know what to tell you. It's real.
Well, Sean, maybe they had that action on it because there's one man at Woodward you can go to when you need your lock on a college game day. Or if you just need to know how many glizzies Joey Chestnut's going to house this year, and that man is Booner of Woodward Sports, have no fear. Booner locking in all football season to bring you the best picks only on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. That's on Saturdays at 11 a.m. and Sundays at 11:30 a.m. And that premieres live September 2nd. College football, he's got you. NFL football, of course. Woodward Bets, watch the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. But look, if you want to make a case for I had some interest in preseason. Here's why I kind of tapped out. All the positions outside of the 6th receiver are pretty much settled for the Detroit Lions. We know where we are. Now, if you're a Texans fan, and C.J. Stroud actually got the opportunity to spin it a little bit from what I saw, if you're a Carolina fan, which again goes back to it, which is why they're going to kind of play that card, there's some juice there if you're a Carolina fan, Lindsey, because you want to see your guy, right?
Yeah, but you still, the only thing that watching 2s and 3s play is let you know how good your 1s are. That's what you get out of it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can get out of it. Watching the 2nd and 3rd and 4th string guys play, I realized, man, our first stringers are pretty damn good. So it's the only thing I can pretty much get out of it.
Neal, I think you made reference to this, and I know, Lindsey, you and I were talking about this last week. I hate to blow anybody's bubble. I do. I hate to blow anybody's little facade and illusion that you created. You are out of your mind if you don't think these coaches knew a month and a half ago who 51 of their 53 was. That's the way they knew. Right. They knew. Now, are there a couple jobs that can be won? Absolutely. Are there a couple jobs that are intriguing? Absolutely. I'm intrigued. My guy, Anthony Pittman. Love Anthony Pittman. I saw him in college, did his games. Great kid, local kid. You know what? I want him to be on the 53. And the question is, are they going to keep that extra D lineman, or are you going to keep that extra linebacker and a guy that can play some linebacker and obviously is a demon on special teams? Those are the things that I'm interested in, okay? But these people, and you know it as well as I do, there's the guy coming down from the mountaintop like he's the smartest football mind in the room.
Well, these guys use it. Try telling that to the 10 guys that are trying to make this team.
It doesn't work that way, man.
No.
I don't know what to tell you. These guys, especially a team as deep as the Lions, they know who they're going to take. It might work for a couple of those guys, so your point is well taken. I give you the JV to Miggy tip of the cap. But 51 out of 53. It's a couple spots that we're all going to be intrigued to see how it plays itself out by 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
No, and look, it just goes back to that. These guys aren't catching the game-winning pass in the Super Bowl, Lindsey.
No.
And if they're in a position to do so, you ain't in the Super Bowl.
You're not in the Super Bowl. Absolutely. Someone in the chat said, undisciplined in preseason, undisciplined in regular season. So some people are putting stock in this preseason. Poor guys.
They're out there, Lindsey. They're absolutely out there, and it is. It's incredible to me. Mark Walston, Mahomes played, Rodgers played, but correct me if I'm wrong. They didn't do the joint practices, right, Sean? There seems to be a new method of how you do things.
I think this is going to be the way it is moving forward.
I think so, too.
I think this is the new NFL. Let me say this, okay? The only thing, the can of worm that is open with this, God forbid the Lions get off to a bad start. God forbid, okay? If your ears are very, very fragile, turn off right now. God forbid the Lions take a step backwards. Instead of going 9-8, they go 8-9. Do you know how many people will blame it on exhibition? I'm telling you, right? You guys know that.
No doubt. Yeah,
people
no
are
doubt.
going to say they weren't ready for the season. Maybe they learned their lesson. To which I reply,
He held on to all that salary cap money.
To which I reply, do you really think that playing one series, maybe 3 downs, is the difference between winning 8 games and winning 10 games? I mean, really, that's what we're talking about. Because if they're going to play, it's probably going to be a series, maybe 2 series. Well, what if they go 1, 2, 3 kick? Really, 3 plays is the difference. That's the difference. That would have broken the seal, and the Lions would have gone here. No, that's not the difference.
And we talked about this last week. Do you think Tom Brady, those 4 preseason snaps he took,
that was the difference.
that was the difference in him winning that Super Bowl?
That's what made him a champion,
man. That's
absolutely nothing to do
the
with him
work
winning
in
the Super Bowl.
August reveals itself in February, Lindsey. Under that hot summer sun. I don't know if you knew that or not. It makes all the difference, Lindsey.
Right. Absolutely. But hey, those 4 snaps was the difference, though. That made Tom Brady the 7-time Super Bowl champion. That preseason snap.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Corey Berry says, you make a good point, but I think the joint practices and how hard they go versus each other will be okay. And look, I think that's going to be the way going forward. And I think Dan Campbell told you as much with some of the comments he made to the media where he talked about the joint practices and said, I kind of prefer doing the work because everything's controlled.
Right.
It's ones on ones. It's in a game environment. But it's not reckless. And Lindsey, hold on. You tell me that, Lindsey. Preseason. Yes. You played in preseason games. There are 2 different gears. True or false?
Totally 2 different gears.
This man did it. He played it.
And practicing against one another, you went harder. And like Dan Campbell said, it was more controlled. We knew exactly what we were trying to get accomplished. You know, although we were going at each other as hard as we possibly could to make each other better, we still knew, like, within the realm of not hurting someone or not risking it all. But you still got more accomplished than a preseason game.
I was out there 2 days in a row for those giant joint practices, and I think Lindsey and I touched on this. Neal, to your point, the first day the Lions won so dominated the Giants, really on both sides of the ball, okay, that you kind of knew the next day the Giants were going to say, enough of this. Enough. Right. Yeah. In particular, defensively, they made life miserable on the Lions. They took it personal. They knew that they were played that first day.
And that would never happen in a preseason game.
Never in a million years would that happen in a preseason game. So I'm sorry. I do. I think there's more validity to that than anybody out there wants to admit.
But don't worry if you are a preseason football fan, because those will be around forever because they're free gates. They're free gates to the owner. You have to buy them if you buy season tickets. Period. Hard stop. They ain't going anywhere.
No. Free money.
They're not going anywhere. Sports marketing agency. They help spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their podcast called This is the S Word helps address the stigma associated with seeking help. If you're struggling or some you know is struggling, go to thesportsma.com. The Sports Marketing Agency. They're here to help.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Come hang with the Woodward Sports Crew all throughout football season on Saturdays and Sundays. Join our college football and Detroit Lions live watch parties.
Inside the 5, caught, end zone, touchdown Detroit Lions!
With money on the line. Featuring different special guests and surprises. Start times will vary depending on the game. Only on our Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune in to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
Neal Ruhl here for 5 Iron Golf, where you can tee up the good times in downtown Detroit live from the Cambria Hotel. And don't forget, this Thursday, the Woodward Sports Thursday Night Golf League is going on. You can come on out. 5 o'clock, we'll be out there. A certain somebody, Spenny, will be out there as well on Thursday. Sometimes you got to come out there and you got to let them know. We have to do this to you from time to time. I will be out there on Thursday. Yes, we'll have many other Woodward Sports personalities and, of course, the Woodward Sports fans as well. And we can't wait to do it. If you haven't been to 5 Iron Golf in downtown Detroit, they're all over the Metro Detroit area right now. But get on down to the Cambria Hotel in downtown. It's a fun night out, full bar, restaurants, all of it. And it is a very, very good time. We've been down there before. Tee up the good times at 5irongolf.com. When you check out, mention promo code Woodward, get 50% off your first visit. Again, 5irongolf.com. Tee up the good times in downtown Detroit. Keeping it pushing here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Sean Belizean. We have Lindsey Hunter as well. We're live at Detroit Golf Club, the Feldman Automotive Children's Miracle Celebrity Invitational, benefiting Beaumont Children's and the Mark Wahlberg Youth Foundation, presented by Quantum Ventures as well. But we're just kind of wrapping up the preseason bit here for the Lions. They won, right? Like I shut it off. They won, right? They did.
Yeah.
Right, Sean? Big win.
Yeah. It's huge. I'll
Big
never
win.
forget it.
Did you have the Lions with 4.5, Sean?
Boy, you got some issues if you're placing a wager down on these exhibition games, man. There's got to be one of those helplines that you can call, right?
1-800-270-7117.
Come on, you got to make one of those
That's
calls.
a public service announcement from Woodward Sports,
good
by
for
the
you.
way.
That's nice.
Final wide receiver spot. You talked about it. Antoine Green, Drummond, Coda in the mix. Drummond kind of shot out Lindsey and took the lead, but it's not how you start. It's how you finished. And we saw Drummond. He had a couple drops, to be fair. Antoine Green, though, made the lasting impression. That was why they took a spin on him in the 7th round. And if anything, you kind of know what the book is on him, right? He's a burner coming in. That was a big play.
Yeah, huge play. And like we were talking about preseason, those are the type of things that we're looking for. Guys that are trying to stick, knowing that there's a deficiency in the wide receiver room. So one of these guys may be, partially an answer to that. And that's what they're trying to do. But it's hard when you don't have that number one quarterback out throwing to you. And we talked about that with J-Mo. J-Mo, of course, is going to be picked on all season long if he doesn't do what he's supposed to do. But he didn't have the number one quarterback throwing to him. So that's why I don't put any stock in this. But I like guys that are trying to make the team. And, these guys have made an impression, and we'll see who comes out.
And remember, too, the disclaimer, Lindsey Hunter played in preseason games in the NBA. So he's talking from a place of knowledge. And, Sean, real quick, before I get your take on the receiver situation, I just want to throw this out there in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. DNC-ENT. What do you mean, Sean? Preseason's easier to bet and profit on than the regular season. But wait, there's more. El Gato, I put $50 on the Lions' money line. They're out there, Sean. You put action out there. People are about that action, boss.
Get some help, man. Seriously, listen, I'm glad it works for you. Go do what you need to do, but get some help. You just don't know. All right, listen, all jokes aside, so a week ago, Lindsey and I were talking about this, and I think there was, a little train behind it. I liked Coda. I thought this is a guy, it'd be nice. You were probably mowing the lawn. Lindsey, you probably checked out.
I was.
What? Listen, when you have a drop like he did in the end zone, a lot of times it's that simple.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah,
it really
that's
is.
tough.
And that poor kid, I thought, I'm not saying he would have made it. I think he was putting himself in a position where it was interesting, and I liked what I saw out of him. But when that moment arrives, even if it's the third quarter of some meaningless, and it is meaningless, exhibition game, fourth quarter or something, and you drop a ball like that, okay, when a quarterback delivers it, and I don't care if it's your 15th quarterback,
right,
delivers it in the middle of the end zone and you drop a ball.
There's no other outcome.
That's that, man.
Yeah, there's no other outcome.
They're not going to give you the rope that they're going to give Jamison Williams. Right. They're not going to give you the rope that they're going to give some other guy.
Because they don't give you the money they give those guys.
The only rope that they're going to give you is that rope that you use to hang yourself.
Yeah.
And honestly, I thought when he dropped that ball, I was like, okay, that's probably it for him. Honestly, that's probably it for him. And it's too bad because I liked the guy. I thought he might be a good fit here But I'd be stunned if he made the team now. I really would be.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Stephen Baffy says, I agree. For me, Green is a wide receiver 5. He can do things Drummond cannot do, and Drummond is wide receiver 6 until J-Mo comes back. And look, those are factual statements. They are. This is a factual statement. The Woodward Sports Lions pregame show returns for another season of Lions football. Join WSN host Jeff Iafrate and weekly special guests on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. You know it's legit. He's got a graphic, everybody.
Look how handsome that kid is.
Oh, man, he is a good-looking dude. Whether you're sipping the Kool-Aid or kicking off, screaming same old Lions, doesn't matter. You don't want to miss this show. Premieres starting Thursday. That's right before the Chiefs game at 6 o'clock Eastern. Join us all season long for an action-packed pregame experience. The Woodward Sports Lions pregame show. Everybody calm down. We're almost there. We are almost there, everybody. Next week is a game week. But we are talking about the Lions situation. And I want to back up what Stephen Baffy said, because for me, that's what it's all about. This game is a game of roles. What can you do? And what is a valuable asset, Sean, in this league? What's something that can't be taught, that can't be worked on? You either have it or you don't have it. You know the trait I'm talking about.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? It's funny. I remember we had this thing probably 10, 15 years ago, and you hear it in your league as well, Lindsey. How do you define it? You can't. I can't verbalize it. I can't. Right. I'm not even going to try to verbalize it. Right. You know what? I'll see it.
Right.
I'll tell you when I see it.
It's like art.
Yeah. So how would you define it? Well, Joey Harrington doesn't have it. So I can tell you what it isn't. Watch Joey Harrington play. He doesn't have it. I mean, you saw it right away. And people, you know how people are around here. You want to believe. You want to believe. Rodney Stuckey's a perfect example. People wanted to believe that Rodney Stuckey was the answer. And I mean, no disrespect to Rodney. Obviously, he was an NBA player, okay? Right. But Rodney Stuckey didn't have it. He didn't. And that's okay. Not a lot of guys do have it. You can be a good player. So for me, you like to watch those guys that have it. And sometimes you can have it and lose it. Right. But then it comes back. Jared Goff is a perfect example of that. I'll say that Jared Goff wasn't good for a couple years. Okay?
That's fair.
With the Rams and then his first year with the Lions. But you know what? It's amazing what happens when you put a guy in a position to succeed. You give him a little protection, you give him some weapons outside, and the guy can all of a sudden find it. So, you know, to me, I think the Lions have it right now. I think they have a little swagger. I think obviously they've got some talent. Now we have to watch it manifest itself in the regular season.
Lindsey.
Hey, and I'm sitting here and I believe everything Sean just said. I believe the Lions have it also. I just don't think everybody else believes that they have it. I think as a fan, and we've went over this several times, you guys, you know, the past is still haunting you guys. So,
yes.
Spinmo
just, yes.
Amen. Amen.
He's a grown man with a beard.
Yeah. But see, I've seen this
street
before.
Fights in Royal Oak.
I watched the New Orleans Saints as a kid. I watched the New Orleans Saints. The closest team to Jackson, Mississippi was New Orleans, under 2 hours away. I never rooted for the people. I didn't like them. But I watched them go from paper bags over their heads to being called the Aints, losing every game they played, to winning a Super Bowl. And everybody in New Orleans, the year they won the Super Bowl, everybody in New Orleans believed that they were going to win the Super Bowl. Now, I don't know if they were just wishful thinking, but they were believing. And I think that's where, as a fan base, that's where the Lions have to try to get. You guys have to try to get over the past.
So we need to get it, you're saying.
Yeah, the fans don't have it yet. The team has it.
Yeah, but we don't have it. Okay. But the moral of the story is, Sean, Antoine Green seems to have it in terms of a piece. And I do agree with some of the texters in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. He has it. Just the big playability. Right. And you've covered this league for many, many decades, Sean. Big play ability. Some guys have it, some do not. We saw it. Granted, preseason game, I understand that. But you're either capable of that or you are not. period.
And that's the best thing about this offense. I keep using this term. I really believe this is going to manifest itself. The Burger King offense. Have it your way. Okay, what do you want us to do? Right. How do you want us to execute you? Player's choice. And when you have parts, I keep going back to Jahmyr Gibbs. To the people out there that are still agitated, and there were a lot of people that were agitated when they made the move and drafted Jahmyr Gibbs. Watching how they utilized him in camp, I'm not gonna lie, it excited me. Because
give us the why real quick, because there are people in the chat right now, Sean, that stay on this too, where they are very, very critical of the running back pick, especially given the number 2 receiver situation.
Guys,
break it down for
Do you know
them.
what I think? We are stuck in our own ways. We're creatures of habit, okay? And we think of a running back as a running back. And a tight end is a tight end. And they're not supposed to do this. They're not supposed to do that. Jahmyr Gibbs, okay, you're a high school fan. I know you do some high school games. You follow it. Sometimes you just have a guy listed as ATH. And you know what that stands for? Athlete.
Yes.
He's an athlete.
Yes.
He is an athlete. He is going to be in the backfield. He is going to be on the field at the same time as Montgomery. He is going to be lined up in the slot. He is going to be lined up out wide. I saw all this with my own 2 eyes at camp. I was sitting there with Lomas Brown, and we were going, dude, he's lined up. Forget the slot. He's lined up wide. And that's what's got me excited about this guy. How they're going to utilize him is the excitement. And Jahmyr Gibbs will prove it to you. Trust me when I say that. Remember these words. Call me out if he doesn't. I'll bet you the first few weeks of the year, everybody that was a little concerned about don't go like that. I firmly believe that. He's a weapon. They're not using him as a running back.
Sean, is this a you'll see?
You'll all see.
Point the finger point and everything. Just like if you went into Lady Jane's to get your haircut, you'll see what an award-winning haircut experience, and you'll automatically be entered to win your choice of not 1, but 2 vehicles. That's right, 2 cars, 1 for you, 1 for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Guys, look, you guys know what it is. We give you your best Detroit Lions coverage in the city. Hard stop. That is fact, not opinion. And our Lions Insider Show, just another example of that. We got our people out there. That's right. Terry Foster, Gabby out there as well. And, of course, Matt Broder. Tuesdays from 7 to 8 a.m., Sundays from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. You can watch on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel, our own Woodward Sports Lions Insider Show. They're at the practice. They're getting a point of view. They're getting a vantage point that we can't get. Tuesdays 7 to 8, Sundays 8 to 9 on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. It's our Lions Insider Show. Pulling up on the second hour of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. We're live at Feldman Automotive, the Children's Miracle Celebrity Invitational at Detroit Golf Club, benefiting Beaumont Children's and the Mark Wahlberg Youth Foundation, presented by Quantum Ventures and the Vesco Oil Corporation as well. Neal Ruhl, Sean Belizean, Lindsey Hunter. It's a big event. We got a big crew. BMG, Spencer Raxter as well. And we do have to touch on this too. I haven't been given the specifics on it. This kind of went to news as we got to air. Nate Sudfeld, torn ACL, Not sure exactly what the situation is going to be. And look, people can say what they want about Nate Sudfeld, and certainly they have shared a lot of opinions out there. You never want to see it go down like this, but in that Carolina game, I guess, serious injury for Nate Sudfeld. Again, Sean, this is another reason why Brad Holmes, in his mind, felt it was important to address the quarterback room. He did. So right away off the rip, the Teddy Bridgewater thing pays a huge dividend, even though he's not playing.
Listen, I'll be the bad guy. He wasn't good. He wasn't good. But with that being said, you don't want to see anybody have their season come to an end like this. Because in a perfect world, when he was cut, and he was going to be, you know what? You wanted to see maybe he could get a chance to go on with somebody else. I mean, that's the one thing that people always forget about is there's a garbage dump, right? And another man's garbage dump is another man's treasure.
Right.
And every year you see this in the National Football League. Some general manager is going to go to the garbage dump. Right. And they're going to go, okay, they threw him away, but you know what? That guy can help us. That guy can help us, right? So you see that all the time in the league, and unfortunately with a guy like that, and I'm going to say it, Lindsey, I don't know if you ever went through it, the ACL sucks. It's awful. Yeah. It's terrible. There's nothing good that comes from it, and it sticks with you for a long, long time, especially the older you get. Trust me when I say that, because my leg is killing me right now, and I want to stand up and do the rest of the show. You don't want to see that happen to anybody, but yeah, Brad was smart to go get a better quarterback option for your backup. And make no mistake about it, Teddy was a better option. He was.
Yeah, he's a proven commodity. Teddy has been a starter in this league.
And at a discount to market.
Right.
That's where I step in, Sean, and do my angle on it at a discount.
Yeah.
It's real.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's real to me. Discount to market, Lindsey. Got to get you thinking like that.
Yeah, you're big into that. See, I'm still kind of split because I still got the half of my brain is the player's mentality, and the other
get your
half
money.
is get your money.
Now, if somebody will give it to you, go take it, man. I'll take it. Somebody offers it to me, I'm taking it.
You're only worth what you negotiate, not what you're really worth.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all. But yeah, that is the word. Is Nate Sudfeld with the torn ACL, and certainly a blow for him. But again, it's just not something I'm as concerned about as I may have been, I don't know, week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
No.
But that's the groundwork again. It is, Sean and Lindsey too. Like, this is why maybe us fans don't have it. And I didn't even think about this at the time until I just started talking about it. To have a GM in place that was able to execute a game plan at the quarterback spot, I'm sorry. I'm still catching up to Sean, I'm sorry. They haven't won anything yet. I understand that. They haven't won a division. They didn't go to the playoffs last year. I understand that. It's just a totally different way for me to perceive what's going on. I'm sorry.
No, I keep going back to how quickly 2 years ago at this time, this was a team that had holes all over the roster. They went 3-13-1, and they may have been worse than that, okay? So we have a general manager right now that has hit on so many picks, that has hit on of course we don't know what to do with it. Like, listen, I know some people are probably going to give me crap for this. I don't think Martin Mayhew was bad. I don't think Martin Mayhew was bad. He wasn't this.
Okay, I'll leave this. I'll leave the sword in the back.
He wasn't this. But here, listen, along these lines, compare Martin Mayhew to what else that we've had here. I mean, seriously, think about it. Compare Martin Mayhew to, for us growing up, the Russ Thomas era. You know what I'm saying? Martin Mayhew was a step up from what we saw. Then with Bob, we took a step back down. Now we're going like this. So the only thing we can do as Lion fans is judge what our guys have done, right? So you started here. You went up with Martin Mayhew, who, again, I'm not saying general manager of the year, but compared to what he took over for, what a giant step. And then you have Quinn. And now you have a guy where you're just, every day is like a brand new day. It's like he's making his picks count. He's making shrewd moves.
Wait a minute, and then they play? And then wait a minute, there's numbers in the stat sheet next to him?
Wait, he didn't rest on what he has. He looked at a way to make his roster better. He's kicking the tires on this, that, and the other thing. That's what I want my general manager to do.
Well, listening to you guys, what you guys are not used to is a general manager with a game plan. That's what you guys are not used to. This general manager has a game plan. And in a game plan, not only do you have a game plan, but you have a backup plan.
Yeah.
You have a plan B, and you have a plan C, just in case those don't work. And this is what we're seeing. And just from hearing the outcries, you guys aren't used to that.
No, that was in.
You guys are used to watching people throw darts against the wall with blindfolds on.
But Lindsey, and look, this is going to stir the pot, and it's going to take this thing in a totally different direction. So be prepared, Sean. I apologize to you in advance.
That's all right.
Lindsey, you as well. But I'll lean to you and say, with what Joe Dumars did, taking you guys from teal uniforms to an NBA championship. Those are your words.
Yes.
This man hated the teal units.
Oh, God. Disgusting.
I'm with him.
Okay. He had a game plan, right?
Yes.
When the franchise got torn down, he built it back up into an NBA champion. I know people forget about that, and there are some things behind the scenes where Joe Dumars was a soldier, but whatever. We'll do that show a different day.
Right.
There was a clear game plan in place, Lindsey, to what he did. You were there. Tell me.
Yes, absolutely. And my thing has always been to watch the teams that win and watch what they do and how they do it. I've always been enamored with San Antonio because they had such sustained excellence. And I watched how they drafted. I watched their development program, and I watched everything they did.
Everything with a purpose.
Yes. And I was like, dang, there's a reason they keep winning. You know, it's easy to say, oh, Tim Duncan. Yeah, you have Tim Duncan, but you still have to put pieces around Tim Duncan. And they always hit on their draft picks. And it wasn't lottery picks. They hit
second rounders.
Man, they hit on Tony
Hall
Parker.
of Famers in the second round.
Tony Parker was a 20-something pick. He's a Hall of Famer. Ginobili was a second-round pick, Hall of Famer. They continually hit on those picks, and they made every other acquisition work. And they took their type of guys. Even if some was sketchy and people thought it wouldn't fit, Pop knew I have enough in here I may be able to take a guy that normally wouldn't fit my organization, but I know we have enough around him to make it work. And they did all of those things. And in Detroit, we did the same thing. We did the exact same thing. Joe went out and got guys that he felt would fit what he was trying to do. Rip Chauncey, draft Tayshaun, trade for Ben Wallace, who wasn't the initial big trade part in that trade, but end up being the marquee guy in that trade. You know, you go out and get those type of guys, and then you make a big splash with Rasheed Wallace, who Sean was saying, a lot of fans didn't agree that was a good move for us because of his reputation in the past. He leads the league in texts, not a good locker room guy, but people didn't really know him. But those are the type of things that winning organizations do. They have a system in place, and they don't defer from the system. Now, when you have a plan in place, that doesn't mean if something jumps out of right field and may help your team right away, you do it.
Yeah.
And that's what good teams do.
That's what I love to say. Mike James is another example. I mean, from that team, and I'll go back to when we were talking about the NFL, the garbage heap. Guys that are thrown away. There are guys on that garbage heap that maybe didn't fit what the Philadelphia Eagles wanted to do.
But Sean.
But they might fit what the Detroit Lions were running.
But Sean, think about this. Chauncey Billups was on the garbage heap.
Absolutely was. Absolutely was.
He was.
No, but Spence, I know you're laughing, but
it's true.
NFL teams are going to go garbage picking. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of garbage picking this next week. Right? I mean, you play the Sanford and Son truck's going to run down the road.
GMs are going to
go garbage picking.
Sean, GMs are going to have the rusted out F-150 with pallets stacked up in the back of it, and they're going to be driving around on Thursday night around the neighborhoods. And if something catches their eye, they'll stop and get out of the car and look at it. Maybe they'll throw it on the truck. Maybe they won't. Yep. But they're going to stop that truck and look at it, man. Make no mistake, they are.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
That is exactly it, man.
And maybe they'll find some copper in there or something like that,
Right.
Are copper prices still, insanely high? Probably, right? I'm not. Yeah. I'll sell my blood, but I'm not going to go drop off copper. Yeah, but you're not stealing copper. Good to know the man's got good to know the man's got a line, everybody. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Jack Harrington. Neal, can I get a birthday shout out tomorrow? Happy birthday for tomorrow, Jack. There you go. Remind me and I'll do it tomorrow. Well, yeah, like that's what he asked for, right? So I did it. Yeah, Jack, you're an OG of the show. Absolutely jump into there. We will get that going for you tomorrow. But yeah, that's exactly what it is. Corey Berry says, plasma, Neal? Plasma? He's not stealing copper, everybody. He'll do the blood, the hair, some other bodily fluids as well. He'll do it. He certainly will do it. Spemma, where were we? Like you shook me now. Where were we at with this one? That's right. I forgot about that one. Dispo, that is true. And let me tell you, experience a true meaning of exceptional cannabis products with the Dispo dispensary. Indulge in the finest selection of cannabis curated with care. With over 12 locations, including the new location that's open in Whitmore Lake, Dispo is never far away. All Dispo locations will be having an Into Summer Bash Friday, September 1st, all day long. Vendors, food trucks, T-burgers for Lindsey. I'm sure he'll be out there somewhere. Music, killer deals, and epic giveaways only at Dispo Dispensary, your local cannabis plug.
Hey, it's Sean Jordan from the Sports Marketing Agency, and SMA wouldn't be who we are without our amazing partners.
Thank you so much, Sean. You know, at Detroit Wayne, we want to serve as a resource for you and your families. We offer mental health services, substance use disorder services throughout our communities, and we want to be that source and resource within the community.
If you or a loved one are suffering from a mental health or substance abuse issue, please don't hesitate to call 1-800-241-4949.
Have you ever argued with your little brother? How about some random guy you're stuck in a room with for an hour? Flannel Sam and Spencer Raxter are at each other's throats. One Spartan alumni and one Walmart Wolverine are locked in a room with nowhere to hide. You're welcome. Whether it's go blue or go green, you can go to WoodwardSports.com for all the action. Coming soon to a device near you. Are you a diehard college football fan? Well, it's your lucky day. Join special WSN guests like Spencer Raxter, Flannel Sam, and more every Saturday. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Saturdays and tune in live from 8:30 to 10 a.m.
Neal Ruhl here for Mark White and Associates. When buying and selling real estate, flexibility and control over the sales process is key. Sellers, how'd you like the freedom of canceling your listing agreement at any time for any reason with no penalty? That is exactly what Mark White and Associates offers. It's called the Minute-by-Minute Listing Agreement by Mark White and Associates. Try Mark White's risk-free minute-to-minute listing agreement today. Looking to buy or sell real estate, visit markwhitesells.com. Again, that's markwhitesells.com or 248-290-8242. markwhitesells.com, where flexibility meets success. Back at it here live, Detroit Golf Club, the Feldman Automotive Children's Miracle Celebrity Invitational, benefiting Beaumont's children, and the Mark Wahlberg Youth Foundation. Neal Ruhl, Lindsey Hunter, Sean Belesian, BMG, Big Mike Gentry, and Spencer Raxter, of course. All of you in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, get your thoughts out there, get it in there. So, you know, we've been breaking down the wide receiver situation, what you got out of preseason, because it's time to roll now. We'll have the news for you tomorrow. Tuesday is the cut deadline. They'll get this down to 53 men, and we'll rock and we'll roll coming up into next week. So, DNC, ENT. Neal, you going to eat an edible if we win in Kansas City?
Go for it, Neal.
I actually will not be here. I'll be on assignment, which we will talk about. No, for real. I'll be in California on assignment. We'll talk about it later.
Back.
Yeah, probably.
No, we got to witness this.
That is true. Uncle Neal saw feet. Do it, Neal. You guys are all enablers. All of you certainly are. Sean, I'll go to you first, though. Okay, so we've talked about it. we have a handle on pretty much all but about 2 or 3 spots.
Yep.
Let's put the Happy Action Fun Tour, to quote a good friend of mine. Let's put that to the side for a minute. We'll only do a segment on it. What group concerns you the most? Right here, right now.
I'm going to give you 3. Run game, run game, run game.
Okay.
I really 100%. I think people.
That's out of left field because that's on nobody's radar.
I know, and I think, you know what I think? I think people are forgetting. I do. I'm not forgetting. I saw them get torched multiple times last year, including late in the year. That Carolina game was disgusting. What was it, 340 yards? I mean, they were
300 at halftime. 290 at halftime.
They were going at like 8 yards a pop. So, and the reason I say that is this. I said, you take a look at the pass defense last year, okay? It was getting torched. But as the season went on, it kind of went like this. I didn't feel that way about the run defense. And you know what? Brad Holmes in his infinite wisdom, you know what he did? Brad Holmes in his infinite wisdom went out and said, hey, our secondary isn't good. So we're going to sign this guy. We're going to bring this guy in. We're going to bring this guy in. There were fixes in place.
Right.
From a unit that was getting better as the year went on anyway. I think we can all agree that, right?
Sure.
What are the fixes for the run defense? Honestly, think about it.
Well, let me see. I'll read this comment. Brandon Katz, Detroit's linebackers are significantly below average. Is that one of it?
Jack Campbell. Well, I hope the rookie's everything we expect them to be. But here's the dirty little
meat missile.
Here's the dirty little secret about rookies. Rookies do rookie things. Rookies do rookie things.
Sean,
what they are their rookie year, Lindsey, aren't what they're going to be in year 2 or 3.
Right.
But is that your fix? Again, the interior line and Jack Campbell, is that your fix? I hope you're right. I pray you're right. It can't be as bad as last year, right?
We hope not. And we were talking about that. We were talking about rookies being put in certain situations. And hopefully the Lions have enough support now that the rookies won't look as much like rookies as they normally would.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully the linebacking core will be much better because the defensive line will be better. So hopefully that run support will be a lot better than it was. I mean, can't get worse than 300 yards in a half. You can't get worse than that. I think I could have went out there and got one of those tackles.
And even if it is that bad, you can sit around with everybody else and kind of take it all in together. That's right. Woodward Sports Networks, the Saturday and Sunday live game day watch parties. Everybody get involved in the Woodward Sports YouTube channel featuring surprises, special guest, all of it. College football, Michigan State, and the Detroit Lions, the live game day watch party right here on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Sean, let me harken back to opening day for the Tigers 2 seasons ago. I'll paint a picture for you. We're downtown. Spencer Raxter's popping bottles in a Casey Mize jersey. Still got the Casey Mize jersey. Hammering back drinks. The streets were flowing with hope. It was off the wall, right? It was technically a single, I think, off the wall or whatever. Anyway, we were on one. Hopium. I mean, look, man, Frank Lucas didn't even see a hopium flood the way that we saw in downtown that day. Everybody was on it. And there was one man at the desk that day. And he was getting killed, Sean. Killed. And my sole reasoning with it, take a guess who it was, number one. You know who it was. My sole reasoning was, okay, guys, let me get this straight. You're counting on a Spencer Torkelson, Riley Green rookie parlay to hit. Not just a parlay, a rookie parlay. And why, Sean, do those sports books have such great technology and such beautiful buildings and all those big screens? How often do parlays hit, Sean?
Yep.
Never.
You got it.
They never hit. And that's another reason where Lindsey will call me scared. But if you think about it and you break it down, you work backwards, you are counting on a rookie parlay this year. Again, Sean, with the Lions, you are.
Well, I want to go back to the Tigers for a second because I think you know this, and I know a lot of people out there know this. I knew 4 or 5 years ago and said it on television and on radio, Al Avila was a joke. And people were betting on a guy that consistently was giving up good talent and getting nothing in return. And we talked about great general managers earlier, right? I'm sorry. When you are doing nothing but selling people on wait until this guy, but you have to wait 2 or 3 years from now, I'm going to say it again. I'm not going to pat you on the back for picking number 1 overall. Hey, congratulations. You got the number 1 pick in the draft. Well, you know what that means? You sucked.
That goes back to Cat Williams. I
sorry.
take care of my kids. You're supposed to take care of your kids.
I don't get that for the life of me. And so, and even now, like, listen, you went down this road. I think people know I was anti-Alavila a long time ago, and I got killed for that stuff, okay? Even now, we're sitting here going, well, hey, listen, Torque looks good, and Carpenter looks good, and Greengood's good, and you know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. Who do you feel comfortable about moving forward from that pitching staff? Like, honest to goodness, which one of those arms do you look at and go, they all have moments of good, and then they all have moments of bad? And Casey Mize, God bless him, I hope he comes back and everything. So that's the kind of stuff. But with the Lions, I think for me, Neal, we're further down the line. And what I mean by that is, okay, now we see the promise in this guy. And we're not talking about the promise because a lot of these cute little prospects are myths. You know how many of these names we've heard in the last 5 years? You may as well make up a name like Milky Waters. Not that a guy has done that before. The world's first 6-star athlete coming out of quarterback, tight end hybrid.
Combo,
you know,
yeah.
Just make up names because that's kind of like the way with baseball is. Football's different. You get a chance to see these guys. You're not burying them, no disrespect, in the G League. You're getting a chance to see these guys here and see hopefully them move up and everything. And I think we've seen a good group come up. And to Lindsey's point, I thought Lindsey made a great point in the last segment. You know what? You have enough talent and experience around some of those rookies that maybe you don't see the rookie moments to the extent that you see rookie moments.
Right. And Neal and I talked about that last week. We talked about the Lions may have enough. They may have enough experience now that you know, we're going to see some rookie moments. You're going to see some little rookie spasms, but hopefully not as bad as we normally would see.
Yeah.
A meltdown.
Yeah. Like Jack Campbell's going to get cooked on a route.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
It's going to happen more than once.
No doubt about it.
Jameer Gibbs is going to fumble the football at some point. He's going to miss a block at some point. You know what I'm saying? Like, you bake that in. That's happening.
I'm an old school guy, I think because of my age. Bill Parcells, right? Parcells hated rookies. Absolutely. I mean, hated rookies.
Because they were rookies.
Because they were rookies. And rookies do rookie things, right? And when I was doing the fantasy show, I used to tell people all the time, if you draft a rookie, do it way later. So if the rookie turns into something, hey, you're happy. But if you're one of those guys, I'm going to draft a rookie early because I'm going to prove to everybody I'm the smartest guy in the world. I want you in my league, moron. Because you're gonna struggle.
Yes.
You're gonna struggle because rookies are gonna struggle. And rookies are gonna do rookie things. So with that being said, I think there's enough talent around it. My concern, especially with the run defense, is you are really asking a rookie to play a big part and try to plug what I felt was an under-talked about problem with this team last year. Especially, I mean, the way the quarterbacks, really, really went after the lines. I mean, Justin Fields, that's the kind of stuff that I worry about. So what are we going to do from that point on? We'll wait and see. Now, again, is this the difference between – I firmly believe the Lions are an 11-win team. I firmly believe it. Okay. Lindsey, you told people be more confident. I'm serious. I firmly believe the Lions are an 11-win team. Can they still win 11 with some of the issues that I think are still in place and you need to prove to me that you made better? I still think they can. But let me put it this way. If that run defense is a lot better, maybe I'm not talking about 11 wins anymore either, honestly.
Exactly.
And that's the situation, Lindsey. Because, again, that's what scars me, Lindsey. See how it all comes full circle? See how I bring in our friend and we talk these things through? And that's the root of it for me. That Carolina game last year, I can't get that out of my mind.
Can't.
I don't even care. I don't even care about the early game against, was it the Eagles where they didn't punt? Right? The Seahawks didn't punt. I moved on from that game.
Right.
That's even going to happen in this league. From time to time, that's going to happen.
Right.
You don't see 300 yards rushing in a half. Lindsey, I'm sorry. I cannot get past it. I can't get past it. I never will.
I just think it's hard because they weren't a good run defensive team, but I just cannot see them being that bad again.
That's fair, but it scars me.
Sean, I cannot see them being that bad again. With the moves that they've made and the experience that they have with the defensive line, and we've all gloated over the defensive line. Those guys are supposed to be good, right, Spinmo? So I can't see them.
They signed their guys back. Brad Holmes, he did kind of draw a line in the sand there.
Yeah.
When there were options out there. Spinmo talked about them all the time on his show on the heavyweights, man. There were options there. Yes. He re-signed his own guys. That's on him.
And you know what? I look at it again, and Neal, to your point, I've said this all summer long. The only way you're going to make me feel better about that run defense is when I see they're not going to get lit up. Like that's the only way. You're going to have to prove it to me, because I can understand looking at the defensive backfield why a lot of people think the defensive backfield is going to be better. They upgraded. So what did the Lions do to upgrade that run defense? That run defense that, again, for whatever reason, Neal, you said it's coming up from left field, but it shouldn't be coming up for left field. We all saw it. We all saw the issues they had.
Intimately.
I think my personal opinion is I think a lot of people are kind of circling that Carolina game because it was Christmas Eve and it was smack dab in the middle of the Lions renaissance, and especially the way season ended, and just going, yeah, I'm just going to put that in the back of my mind. We're just going to pretend that didn't happen. I can't do
Losses
that.
happen.
It's not my
Losses
job.
like that do not happen.
Yeah, it's not. Sorry, I'm not doing my job unless I remind
that
people
was
about
mid-'90s
that.
Nebraska playing Pacific. You know those when they'd win those games 77-7?
Best college football team I ever saw. Seriously, that 95 Nebraska team just mauled everybody, including mauling Spence, Michigan State, Nick Saban's first game. Absolute, like, two teams that didn't belong on the same field.
You know what's funny is my brother-in-law is a Michigan State grad, and like he got like the diploma framed, the degree framed and all that kind of stuff. And the picture on there is of Spartan Stadium, and you see this little section of red, and it's the Nebraska game where they got the photo from. Poor guy. Every time he looks at his degree, he's got to think of that game.
Neal, I'm serious. I say this all the time to people out there. If you don't go look up their schedule. Nebraska didn't beat people; they pulverized people. Yeah. They did. I mean, that was honestly best college football team I ever saw.
Real quick, WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Dan Wood. We were talking about the Tigers. El Mago was back that day. He was back that day. We haven't seen him since, but he was back that day. But we will see college football, lots of it. Do you love college football? Woodward Sports loves college football. That's why I bring you Woodward Sports for the love of college football pregame show. The latest Woodward Sports show. Tune in on the YouTube channel. Spencer, Sam Flannel, Easy, many more will get you ready for your college football day. Premiering live on September 2nd every Saturday morning from 8:30 to 10 a.m. on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. And there's a home for it. If you're Sparty, Wolverine, or a fan of that other team that we won't mention, we welcome you all to the start of your day loving college football with the Woodward Sports Network every Saturday.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune in to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. Come hang with the Woodward Sports crew all throughout football season on Saturdays and Sundays to join our college football and Detroit Lions live watch parties.
Inside the 5, caught, end zone, touchdown Detroit Lions!
With money on the line, featuring different special guests and surprises. Start times will vary depending on the game. Only on our Woodward Sports YouTube channel.
Back at it here live, Detroit Golf Club, the Feldman Automotive Children's Miracle Celebrity Invitational, benefiting Beaumont's children, and the Mark Wahlberg Youth Foundation. The celebrities are out there. Ron Artest already stopped by to say hi to Lindsey Hunter. Said that Lindsey's the best defensive player he's ever seen. So there's that one out there. Neal, Ruhl, Sean Belizean, Lindsey Hunter, Spencer Raster, BMG. Real quick, Lindsey, going off subject. We're talking lots of football. Ron Artest, you can say what you want about. He was one of the most feared defensive players in the history of the NBA. John Stark's out here as well. Lindsey, when Ron Artest comes to you and says, you're one of the best defensive players I've ever seen, that hits different, right?
It does. That makes me feel pretty good.
Let's be real. Let's be real.
We've always been fans of one another because I've always respected him because I watched him as a rookie. And I knew he was going to be a great player, and especially defensively because he took pride in that. I remember in one game when he was with the Bulls, and I scored. I think I hit like a one-dribble pull-up on him real quick. And he looked, and he was like, can't let you do that again. You know, and I'm looking at the dude like, hey, what type of dude is this? But he was so fixated on being great defensively. And I knew, I was like, rookies don't come in like that. And that was like, he didn't care about the offense. He just wanted to stop everybody.
Yeah.
And I knew, I was like, that's a different dude.
Man, that was so long ago, Sean. He hit a one-dribble pull-up on him. So tell the young bucks what a one-dribble pull-up is now.
They just know what threes and layups are. Yeah. The analytical, this is the analytical age, so they just know layups and threes.
So back in the day, Spencer, what they would do is it was called a curl, right? And you would get the ball and you would put it on the floor once and pull up. Right? Create that right as you got your defender on his heels. Right. You take one bounce to make it look like you were going, and you pull up and shoot the ball. 15 feet? Yep. 17 feet?
Yep. 15.
It was a really wild time in basketball. It was a different time for everybody. And then it would rattle around in the peach basket, and then they'd have to stop the game and get the ladder out and pull the ball out of the peach basket.
What was the story? Remember, it was during the finals. I don't remember the exact circumstances. Lindsey, maybe you'll remember. But do you remember that everybody and their brother knew that the ball was going to Kobe, right? I mean, he's the Mamba. He's the assassin.
Yeah.
And Ron Artest got the ball, saw everybody kind of shading over to Kobe and said, I am going to take this shot. And Kobe, like, it was funny. I remember in the postgame, Ron said, I could hear Kobe in the background yelling, Ron, no, like that. And remember, Artest put it up, and he beat the Celtics.
Yep.
And everybody went nuts, and he was doing this and everything. But hearing him tell that story, it's like, Ron, no, can't you just hear Kobe doing that?
Dude, I can hear him saying that to Ron all game.
Yeah?
but Ron is one of those guys, man, that you need on your team. Like,
yes.
You got to have a guy like
that.
You know? I mean, we had guys like that. We had,
an agitator, right?
Yeah,
too.
You got to have a guy like that on your team. And you can't have too many of them.
No, you can't fly you can fly close to the sun, but not too close to the sun with that. No, but it's real. Like, the agitator thing is real.
Yes, you got to have one, man.
Your game hockey.
Yep.
Agitator thing is real, man. D-Mac would tell us that all the time, man.
It changed, though. I think the role in sports as times have changed, I think what that guy does now is different, especially in hockey. That guy before would drop his gloves, right? I mean, that guy was a guy like Darren. Okay, sometimes I need to be the police officer. That role has changed now. Now he's a weasel. Now, seriously, now he's a weasel, and you have to ignore the weasel because you can't pummel the weasel anymore. Before, you could just go, buck this guy. Right. And I said, buck this guy, man. I'm just going to drop my gloves and beat the piss out of him, right? You can't do that anymore. So it has changed, but you need a rat like that. You need a guy. I say this all the time. You know, a guy that may be around here quickly raised to number one on the weasel list, right? Brady Tkachuk.
Yes.
Love the kid. I'll go to war with him. Remember what he did to the Red Wings last year? I mean, effectively ended their
season.
I will go to war with Brady Tkachuk. I want that guy on my team. Yeah, playing against him, but I want to go to war with that kid. So, and I can hear Red Wing fans saying, I don't want him on my team. Bullshit. Of course you want him on your team. You want that guy. You need that guy. It's Jack Nicholson.
You need that guy.
You want me on that. You need me on that. That's exactly what it is.
And to your point, that role has changed in the NBA also.
Absolutely.
Because you used to have one of those guys that was, what's up? Sada baby, what's up? Doing a little show, man. Come on over here, man.
Detroit's in the house right now. Sada baby stopping by.
That's all right.
What's up, man? Sada? We good, man. We good.
What's up, nephew?
Oh, there it is, man.
Right,
Out here at the Feldman Automotive Children's Miracle Celebrity Invitational benefiting Beaumont Children's and the Mark Wahlberg Youth Foundation. Sada baby pulling up on us here on Woodward Sports. Lindsey, since we're talking about it, and this train's this far down the track right now, now it becomes, sports talk for me. I got him here for a minute, Sean, so I want to ask the question. How come nobody grows up wanting to be a defender?
Because it's not glorified. Think about it.
And it's hard. Like, it's a bad parlay, right? Like,
right.
You get no credit,
right.
And it's hard as hell.
The crazy part about it is nobody glorifies the defender, but all coaches want him.
Yeah.
And all coaches, I hear high school coaches, I hear college coaches talking about, we want guys that can defend. But who do you go recruit first? You go recruit the guy that averages 25-plus a game.
Yeah.
So it's like how do you sell a kid on, I want him to be a defender, or I'm trying to make it to the league. I got to average 20-plus. Nobody's really watching me defend, but it's a hard sell, and college kids have to do both. You have to be able to do both. And you guys know my career in college. I
filled it up.
Yeah, I was top 2 in the nation in scoring. So but I was always a defender. Even in high school, I could always defend. But then when you get to the league, and I mentoring young guys, I tell them all the time, man. Once you get in, you find your niche, and you ride it out. Because
that's what D-Max says. Like, he's coming off a 55-goal-year season in the OHL, which if you score 55 in the OHL, you can play, bottom line.
Right.
The Red Wings just traded for one of those guys that I watch. I talked with Sean about it when he was playing, when DeBrincat was playing in the OHL. But Darren said, he goes, I stepped out on that ice, I knew right away. Yes. You get through one shift, and you're like, wow, these guys are spinning out here, man.
Dude.
It's different in hockey, from broadcasting junior games to college games to NHL games. A lot of times, to Neal's point, a guy will say, listen, what you were, that's not you anymore. I think one of the best defensive players of all time, seriously, a guy that they used to joke they were going to change the name of the Selke Trophy to the Guy Carbonneau Trophy, right? Guy Carbonneau. Guy Carbonneau lit it up in junior. Prolific scorer. Coach told him very early in his career, Guy, you better learn to play both ways because your future in this league is not as a scorer. Another guy you brought up, McCarty, Kirk Maltby. Kirk Maltby was a sniper.
Yeah.
Was a sniper.
He had the second most goals in the OHL that year.
I saw these guys, man. I mean, that's back when I was a fan, but, in broadcasting the OHL for 15 years, I saw these guys. And you know what? A lot of times, Lindsey, to your point, a coach will come up to you and say, man, listen, I don't know what to tell you. You don't have it. You're not going to be a 40-goal scorer in this league. We're going to ask you to do something. We want you to be our lockdown center. Now, some guys embrace that role.
Right.
You were a guy that embraced that role. I want to be in this league. What do I need to do to – some guys, oh, man, that ain't me. That ain't me. Okay, well, good luck in your next team that you're playing for. Right. Maybe somebody picks you up from the garbage dump. Spence?
Well, the thing about it in the NBA – you have 24 stars. You have 24 all-stars. After that, there's everybody else.
Yeah.
So
a whole league full of people.
Yeah, you got to figure out how can I play with those guys. And if you don't, you won't be.
No question about it, Lindsey. And real quick, WoodwardSports.com chat thread. We have to confirm if this is true. Dan Wood said the limo with the talent just rolled up. I see Maz in the background. Can we confirm? Are they here? All right, everybody act right, okay? Come on. Lindsey, don't be over there laughing and smiling and stuff like that. Get your act together, man. All right?
Oh, man.
Spemma, which one do you want? Planet Fitness. That is right. That's right. And Planet Fitness. Usually we're in the Planet Fitness studios, and you guys know my affinity for Planet Fitness. Bottom line, guys, there's some cool corporate taglines here. I've been a member of Planet Fitness for 3 years. They've helped me accomplish every fitness goal I've ever had in my life because they're everywhere. I go in there, I get my work done. clean facilities, an abundance of equipment. Even if you got some moron up there who's training for a half marathon and he's on the treadmill for 70 minutes, 90 minutes, it doesn't matter. There's an army of treadmills there. You can look at that guy and go, what's wrong with him? And then you go get on your treadmill and do your work. That's out there for you at Planet Fitness. Over 2,400 of them around the world. You get access to all of them with the black card at just $24.99 a month. Go to planetfitness.com or just pull in the parking lot of your local Planet Fitness. Either way is good. It's Planet Fitness, where fitness is essential.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Winners, losers, pushes and draws, over-unders, prop bets, futures and spreads. Are you sick and tired of your picks being losers? Do you want to learn how to bet like a champion? Well, Woodward Sports searched the globe for the most dangerous man with a bet slip in his hand and gave him a show. Coming soon to Woodward Sports. Tune in every weekend as we introduce the greatest gambler to ever walk the earth.
Hi, I'm Booner, and I don't lose.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Neal Ruhl here for Outdoor Equipment Company. Your childhood may be over, but playtime is not. Outdoor Equipment Company is your source for outdoor power equipment, sales, service, parts, all of it. They carry all the top brands. Bad Boy Mowers. They had a bowl game for a long time. Sean remembers that. LS Tractor, Steel, and more. Servicing the Great Lakes region with locations in Metro Detroit and Greater Lansing. For more information, visit us at OutdoorEquipmentCo.com. That's OutdoorEquipmentCo.com. Outdoor Equipment Company, your power equipment playground. Keeping it pushing here, Detroit Golf Club, Feldman Automotive, Children's Miracle Celebrity Invitational, benefiting Beaumont Children's and the Mark Wahlberg Youth Foundation. Neal Ruhl, Sean Belesian, Lindsey Hunter, the People's Champion, Big Mike Gentry, Spencer Raxter, the other People's Champion out here, but we're just chopping it up. Let's go Red Wing Sparty with some advice for Lindsey. When the 2 to 4 show pulls up, don't make eye contact, Lindsey. It's in their contract. You are not to look them in the eye. I'm right with that? Yeah, that's true, Sean. We're just not on that level. We got to get that in our next contract.
Damn it. It's it's one of those things, Neal, that know your role. I just when they walk by, you know what I do? I just literally just put my head down. Just it's all right. I put my head down. They usually make some snarky comment about the hat that I'm wearing. They're very blue friendly on that show, so they make some snarky comment about that, but it's okay. Yes, Mr. Ermanni. Yes, Mr. Massaway.
They'll want the cushy headphones. They want all the state-of-the-art things. They'll change chairs.
Like Wi-Fi that works and stuff
they'll
like
get
that.
all the good stuff.
Wi-Fi that works.
I don't know, man. I don't get it.
By the way, they're over there fighting bees again.
Of course they are. Of course they are. Week 0 college football. There's a Tigers thing I want to get to in the next segment, though. But I just want to spin this around. Speaking of privilege, it is my privilege to be sitting next to a Heisman voter here in Mr. Sean Belesian. So have you sent your ballot in already?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Already done. No, it's it's funny. There are a lot of Lindsey, I think you and I were talking about this last week. There are a lot of misconceptions about how it works.
Yes.
There isn't a top 5 or anything. You get, I'm not joking. I get an email and it says you have 3 slots to fill. That's it. There's 3. And then when I press send on it all disappears. It's like, I'm not joking. It's like Mission Impossible. This message will self-destruct as soon as you press send. And it's like nothing happened. But it's funny, people around here, very, oh, you're going to vote for this Spartan or that Wolverine. I've only done it one time for each of them, and it was the same year. It was 2021. I had both, K9 and Hutch on my ballot. I thought they both deserved it. I had them 2 and 3. But yeah, I mean, Neal, all jokes aside, and Lord knows I like to poke fun at myself more than most people poke fun at me. That's something that's awesome. Like, I mean, as a kid growing up,
yes.
Lindsey, we grew up in the era where when they had that show on in early December from the Downtown Athletic Club in New York, my ass was in front of the television. So when I got asked, 14 years ago now, that was pretty stinking cool.
That's cool.
And it did, too. And it wasn't an hour long. They didn't do it at the end. Like, they did this weird thing where they just introduced the guys, maybe one package, boom, they announced the Heisman winner.
Yeah.
Well, everything has to be.
It's a wide open. I mean, it's wide open this year. I know a lot of people are looking at Caleb, and rightfully so. I get that as a returner. But don't forget, the returner came back to college football last year, too.
Right.
And how did that work out? You know, and
has there been some backlash with that? With the Heisman vote? Because, look, we become a society. We don't like repeats.
1,000%.
You know what I'm saying?
I can tell you definitively, I thought that Tim Tebow, his senior year, was far and away the best player in college football. And I have no problem saying that. And I think the way the championship game played itself out would suggest that. There are a bunch of old school guys that don't want a guy to win 2 Heismans because Archie Griffin did it.
Of course.
And I don't understand thinking like that. Much like, okay, say what you want about Johnny Football, okay? All right? Seriously? He was the best player in college football that year.
Yes.
I don't care if he was a freshman. I don't care if he was a 17th-year senior. He was the best player in college football. And the funny thing, when you talk to some of the old school guys, like, it was almost like they were contagious to even consider a freshman. And and being the young whippersnapper, golly gee, I thought this was about picking the best player in college football. I don't give a crap what he is, man. Right. If the best player in college football is a freshman, that's what I'm voting for. It's not that. Let's not make it more difficult than it needs to be. Just one man's thoughts.
Do you buy into the Drake May thing?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. Especially if they. Okay.
Because nationwide, you guys, and I say you guys, nationwide are not going to vote for a guy that's on a 7-5 team.
There is no way it's going to happen. That was the point that I was going. If they drop to Clemson, if they drop to, we were talking about the ACC earlier. Look, if Florida State can somehow beat LSU, and I don't think it's that far out of the realm of possibility. I really don't.
2.5 point spread.
I don't think it's that far.
Pretty much pick.
Then all of a sudden the Florida State hype train is going to help. And like you said, if we're having this conversation in the middle of November and May has 3 or 4 losses down there with the old guy, no way. He's immediately off. He's immediately off. No, no.
Even if he threw for 6,000 yards, it wouldn't matter. And that's Lindsey. That's part of my problem with where the Heisman Trophy has gone to.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like it is an MVP award of a good team.
I agree.
That's it.
I'm gonna be consistent to what I just told Lindsey. I don't care if he's a freshman. I don't care if he's on a 7-5 team. If that's the best player in college football, that's the guy I'm voting for.
Right.
Yeah.
Period.
Unfortunately, they don't do that. Though.
They don't do that.
They never
no,
do that.
They don't.
I remember the year McNair came out, and he was clearly the best player in college football.
He was. Absolutely.
I mean, he was unbelievable.
Yep.
And he got Heisman votes, of course, but he didn't win it because his team, they were good, but they weren't great.
The hype train is amazing, and Lord knows I couldn't have said this 7 years ago. I think a lot of Michigan fans are probably mature enough to hear this now. How Jabril Peppers ever got on the ballot and went to New York.
Laughable.
And I said that 7 years ago, and Michigan fans, what's a Sparty? Always a Sparty. You didn't go down the list of all that stuff.
He was not in the top 30 of any major statistical category.
He was a darn good player. He was a darn good player. He could do multiple things. But, can we be adult and say a Heisman candidate, a real Heisman candidate? I don't know. But now, conversely, again, Hutch was, and a lot of people, how can you pick a defensive guy? I don't know. Watch him play.
Well, and that's the lead into me. And Ndamukong Suh.
Yeah, he was
I
phenomenal.
thought he was the best player in college football that year. Gosh. With all that was Mark Ingram's year, right?
Yeah.
With all due respect,
especially that Big 12 championship game. I think he was everywhere. That was insane. I didn't vote for him though. Full disclosure, I remember I put him second. For what it's worth, I did put him second.
Who'd you put
But
first?
listen, there were people out there that you can't even put a defensive guy on your ballot. And I'm like, what the are you talking about? What do you think? The guy, did you watch? I mean, he was unbelievable that game.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and I like talking about the Heisman. I'm a dork like that. Thank you guys for for seeing me through on that. John Fisher, when do all the football shows start? Then John Fisher again. Goddamn, any chat moderators or what? Y'all don't answer questions for shit. Hey, John, you know when the football shows start? When football starts this weekend.
John is upset, isn't he?
Hey, how about this, John? Saturday and Sunday, Woodward Sports. You like football? Turn it on YouTube.
John.
Yeah. Anytime football's going on, John. All weekend long, Woodward Sports. Football. Guess what you'll see, Sean? Football. John. John. All right. Are we good? Yes. Tell them about Mr. Kearney. Neal Ruhl here for the Academy of Warren. Hey, you can still enroll. There's still time right now. My kids went back to school today, as a matter of fact, but there is still time for you to enroll in the Academy of Warren. Kindergarten through 8th grade that features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, a learning street, a futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, and of course, K through 8 athletics, and a brand new state-of-the-art sports dome field house with a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and soccer field, which they can also use for 7-on-7 football. John. Maybe we'll have a Academy of Warren football show on the weekend. John. Go to the academyofwarren.net and enroll today. It's the Academy of Warren.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com. Have you ever argued with your little brother? How about some random guy you're stuck in a room with for an hour? Flannel Sam and Spencer Raxter are at each other's throats. One Spartan alumni and one Walmart Wolverine are locked in a room with nowhere to hide. You're welcome. Whether it's go blue or go green, you can go to woodwardsports.com for all the action. Coming soon to a device near you.
Back at it here, final segment of the show. Feldman Automotive's Children Miracle Celebrity Invitational benefiting Beaumont Children's and the Mark Wahlberg Youth Foundation. We're live at Detroit Golf Club. Neal Ruhl, Sean Belizean, Lindsey Hunter, Spencer Raxter, BMG, Big Mike Gentry. All the shows are out here today. I know they had the limocade bringing Ermanni and Edwards up here. Something's on the grill. Sean's distracted. You know we're coming down to the end. Benjamin Foe. Neal, didn't you watch that USC game? I did. I got you right on it, Benjamin Foe. Got you right. The people, again, because that's what I do around here.
You just tuned in.
We got that one. We have improved to 44-15. So once again, 44-15, Sean, is documented. It's real. And it's in the get right, where I get you right from all your foibles on Saturday.
I was along those lines. I know two buddies of mine who are. I got no other way to say it. They're degenerate gamblers, okay?
We all have them.
I love them both, but they were texting me at the same time because they took the under of the Notre Dame Navy game. And watching their text the last 5 minutes of the game, I'm crying. It's over, it's done. And it barely went under. And it's so funny. It reminds me why I don't like to gamble. Like it does, because there's nothing worse than that feeling. You're watching a game like that, and it's like one score is going to do me in. And Navy was that bad that it could be that just one score. What are you going to do? Tell the third-string guy not to run into the end zone? Right. And you're going, please. So these guys are dying the last 5 minutes. But same with you. I guess that was their, the get right?
Get right, yeah.
Those guys were like, we're going to start your season out the right way. This is my lock of the week. Notre Dame under, and both of my buddies hit it. So
there you go.
congratulations to you, and congratulations to people that listen to Neal. You should listen to a guy that's 44-15, for goodness sake.
Documented, too.
Documented.
By the Minister of Accountability.
John.
No, not by John. Tigers yesterday. Miguel Cabrera, Justin Verlander. It was a pretty cool moment, but it made me sad. Made me sad.
Why did it make you sad, Neal?
Lindsey, it makes me sad, man. Because I just go back to what we got for Justin Verlander. Oh, straight up? Just when I think you couldn't do anything any worse.
None of you guys were here, and I hope people in the chat will remember this. I got crucified by 98% of you and almost everybody on the Woodward sports staff at the time. That and whether people want to admit it or not, I don't even care.
They won't.
There were still people worshiping Al Avila at the beginning of last year. At the beginning of last year. I mean, I want you to think about that. At the beginning of last year.
Sean, I have people in my phone that text me regularly about the Detroit Tigers that are still Al Avila apologists. Still. We're in a town that a lot of the Pistons fan come down on Joe Dumars, but there are still Al Avila fans out there.
It's incredible.
Wow.
It's incredible. It really is. It's downright remarkable. I remember I was at the game when they got swept by the Orioles in 2014. It was a Sunday afternoon game. It was the same afternoon. Remember Jim Schwartz, who told his own players to carry him off the field because they beat the Lions? Embarrassment. But
I remember that.
It was the same day, and I remember sitting in the stands, and we had so much fun the last few years before, and we had season tickets. And I looked at my son. I go, it's over, right? And he's like, no. I go, no, Jack, this is it. And 9 years later, we haven't come close to it, man. It's depressing, and especially when you look at those pitching staffs in 13 and 14 to not win, it's depressing. But JV's still one of the best in the league, man. Give it to him. Yep. Give it to him.
I do, and I was critical of Verlander a lot, right? Because in the biggest moments, great career, Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. I always go back to that, Lindsey, cashing one in. That's what it all comes down to. You either do it or you don't do it. You guys did it once. You didn't once. But you did it. Everyone can deal with it because you got the one.
Yeah, man. You have, when the opportunity comes, like you said, you have to capitalize on it. And when you don't, you'll always be remembered for it. You'll always – we're getting kicked out. I'm sorry. Can I get up?
Oh, my gosh.
All right, have yourselves a great afternoon.
Hey, guys, it was good being on with you guys.
Everybody look down. Everybody, hey, we're done. They're here. They're literally right over my shoulder here. JB Smoove and Parker Not Meadows. And they got that look, too.
Like move.
Yeah. Sean, you'll know this well. Lindsey, like if I'm doing a game for television and like it ran late, but we got to do the open and everyone's kind of standing around waiting. You've seen this before, I'm sure. Yes. And the whole arena's looking at the two TV guys.
Yes.
That's what I'm getting right now from them. They're just like,
oh man.
All right, we got to go, Sean. Lindsey, we got to go. Hey, big shout out to everybody at Detroit Golf Club. They were awesome like they always are. Feldman Automotive, the Children's Miracle Celebrity Invitational benefiting Beaumont's children and the Mark Wahlberg Youth Foundation. We appreciate everybody out there. For Sean Belizean, Lindsey Hunter, Spencer Raxter, and, of course, BMG Big Mike Gentry. My name's Neal Ruhl. Thanks for tapping in. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Well,
we out.
See you later.